impressions or your ideas or what observations?
My impressions, well, I wasn't here during the first edition, but I do know that the first time they worked with a lot of architects. So now I think that from what I gather, because now it's basically artists, so I think they were first of all looking for a more professional approach. Professional in the sense that you talked with the people who design houses and who design like the houses and the urban landscape, and now they want an artistic approach, because I think that Douala as a city has a problem. It's that it has no basic cultural identity. Douala is for the Doualas, yes, but Douala is a cosmopolitan city, and in itself, because when you think of Paris, you'll think of the Eiffel Tower and you see Paris, but when you think of Douala, even I as a Cameroonian, I will not be able to state or to talk about one thing that basically just represents Douala, except for maybe food. But at the same time, the food that we find here, basically, you can find like anywhere else. So I think that Douala is in need of objects that reflect the cosmopolitan culture which is inherent in this city more than in any other city in Cameroon.
So in other words, you're saying that there's a lack of such?
Yes, there is. I think Cameroon has one problem, is that people build their houses and they can put any type of design they want in their compound, but when you go on the streets you don't see anything. Now even in Yaoundé they're trying to build parks, they're trying to put up like statues that reflect our history, but at the same time that reflects our identity as a people. Because the only basic statues that you'll have here is statues that were put up by the whites, by the colonialists. So it's either doctors like Dr. Jameau in Yaoundé, but like, who's he to us? Like, yes, he did do things, but he did do it as a colonial doctor. He didn't do it as a Cameroonian. So it would be good to start saying things that reflect who we are. And I think that will bring in tourists, because when people come to Douala, like a question that can be asked is, okay, what can I go and see in Douala, which is worth seeing? And you basically will answer, well, I don't know, because there isn't anything. In my opinion.
So in a way, you think the workshop could somehow be a basis for thinking about what kind of urban interventions Cameroonian artists could do in their own city?
Yes, of course. Cameroonian artists, yes. And because Douala is a cosmopolitan city, even though artists coming from elsewhere, because we really need to adapt to the fact that Douala is one of the cities where you will see the most foreigners. They tend to come and want to live here. In Yaoundé, it will basically be the diplomats. So it's official. But when a tourist comes to Cameroon, he has to choose between Douala and Yaoundé, he will choose Douala because it's our cultural city. But it's a city that has few things that are related to culture.
Well, if you see, as we have shown in the last week, some of the projects that artists do here, it is much less the monumental type of projects, but more projects related to certain neighborhoods, which are maybe much more oriented and based in certain local communities, and which don't monuments represent so much the city as a whole.
It's true, but it will be difficult to do things for the city as a whole, you can only work starting by the communities in which people live. The only way to get people interested in arts is to bring arts to them. And by bringing arts to them, it's by putting up structures, not even monuments, but by putting up structures that they can see in their own neighborhoods, and that will get them interested in seeing what is done like elsewhere. There's one thing that I really feel I'm sorry of in Cameroon is the fact that it's difficult to see like paintings from basic artists elsewhere than in some hotels. For example, if you go to Yaoundé and you go in a ministry, you will hardly see a painting by a Cameroonian like anywhere, and that's because the government is not. I think personally the government is not interested in promoting Cameroonian culture, because I know for a fact, from what I've seen, that if you start having paintings by Cameroonians, if you start having artwork by Cameroonians in houses, in the hotels, in ministries, if you will get people more interested in art, and you will make people understand that there is an outlet. Because here still, when you are an artist, it's like an artist, not a singer, because today we understand that when you sing you can't earn money, but when you're a painter, people tend to think that you're doing it because you failed elsewhere, and that's bad.
Well, Douala obviously has made lots of mural paintings throughout the city. It was like
Yes.
the first project.
Yes, it has.
Founding for our mural, and up to now, I think.
Yes, they do, but Douala Art is working for Douala Art, and Douala Art can only do so much. It's going to take other galleries to decide on artistic urban intervention ideas for this thing, because we can't count on the government. So people have to try to do things for themselves, and basically Douala Art is the only one, the only gallery that is trying. But I think that by doing that, it will get others interested. So there's always somebody who has to start for others to see that it's good, that it's interesting, and to get them to give them that incentive that they lack.